So Republican Congressman Ken Buck is calling on President-elect Biden to put a stop to the impeachment effort for the sake of the country. And he joins me now. Congressman Buck, good to have you here tonight. You know, everywhere I go, people talk about how upsetting and horrifying in many ways this whole period is. When you looked at what happened at the U.S. Capitol and you see the divisiveness. I mean, I thought we saw divisiveness a year ago. It's nothing like how frightening it is right now in this country. What is your message to the president-elect this evening, sir?
My message is that this is being rushed. This is a political stunt. And what we need to do is take time and reflect and make sure that whatever decisions are made regarding the events of January 6th are done with intelligent action. This president-elect could gain a lot of goodwill among Republicans and Democrats, frankly, but among Americans generally, if he told everybody, slow down, this president is not an imminent threat to this country at this point. Let's get through the inauguration and let's look back and make some decisions. There are all kinds of mistakes that were made, some of epic proportion in terms of protecting the Capitol building itself. And we really need to form a commission. We need to look at these issues and we need to come up with some good ideas moving forward.
Yeah, I think one of the things that people look at is, would it make the country safer if you impeached the president right now? Chad Wolf at DHS put in his resignation today. So there you have the acting chief of DHS saying that he is not going to be there through the next 10 days of this period. You have a couple of, the security officials, Robert O'Brien at the top, who is the national security advisor, who's staying, it appears, for the purpose of making sure that he can make things as stable as possible. What does impeachment do to the safety of the country in your mind?
Well, it doesn't help in any way. If anything, it further divides this country. When Speaker Pelosi reaches out to the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff and talks about nuclear codes and then publicizes that conversation, and then she engages in this impeachment without any investigation. We think we know some of the things that happened during the day, but we don't know all the things that happened. We don't know who ordered the National Guard to come in, who ordered them not to come in beforehand. There are a lot of questions that really need answers before we can make an intelligent decision on who's culpable and where and how culpable people are.
This is David Cicilline, Democrat from Rhode Island. Here's how he sees it. Watch this.
There are some people who think, oh, the president's leaving in 10 days. Let's just overlook it. Look, we took an oath to defend and protect the Constitution and our democracy. That responsibility falls to us. We have no other choice. Congress is obligated under our oath of office to move forward and impeach this president.
What do you say to that argument?
I serve on the Judiciary Committee with Congressman Cicilline, and I have a lot of respect for him, but he's wrong. We took an oath to uphold the Constitution. We didn't take an oath to move in a direction that clearly negates the intent of the impeachment clause and the idea of impeachment. Impeachment is something you do with great reflection. It's not something you do as a political stunt and when a president is on his way out.
So you heard the conversation that we just had about the option of a censure. There are reports that there are several Republicans, House Republicans, who believe that that is the way to go. Do you support that move?
I don't. I think there has been a lot of censurable conduct over the past 4 or 5 years, and even before that. I think when the Speaker of the House rips up the State of the Union address on national television, when Maxine Waters talks about how Trump supporters should be harassed in restaurants and public places, when the Vice President-elect talks about the riots over the summer in glowing terms, I think there are really issues that we have to deal with in terms of our rhetoric in this country, but to point at the president and only censure him, I think is unfair.
It's so true. I mean, you think back about the bail funds that Kamala Harris wanted to raise. She wanted the people who were attacking small businesses, and in some cases, some of the business owners were injured in some of those riots. But she wanted, in some cases, for people to get bail so they could get back out on the streets and do protests. Is there any way to get Democrats on the other side of the aisle and Republicans to come together and see how destructive all of this is for the country and try to pull together some kind of unity here?
I think there are a lot of personal relationships that will once again be mended and move forward after January 20th. And I hope that my fellow colleagues recognize that we're in the middle of a pandemic. We are in the middle of an economic crisis, and we have a lot of international issues to deal with. If we don't come together, we're making a serious mistake, and we're not doing the people's work.
There's a job to be done, to be sure, and that is in the best interest of the people of this country. Thank you very much, Congressman Buck. Thanks for being here tonight. Good to see you from Colorado.
Thank you.